Hi, this is Alex. Welcome to Real Estate Channel. Today we are talking about Toronto rent increases problem. There was a rent freeze in Ontario last year due to the pandemic, but it expired on the 1st of January and now some landlords are raising rent by as much as 25%. I was shocked. I thought it was illegal and I started texting my friends and family to ask can they do this, said Jake Myhill of Toronto. Myhill and Holly McLeod moved into a Toronto condominium unit in May 2021 and signed a 1-year lease. The allowable rent control guideline increase for this year is 1.2%, but that does not apply to newer buildings constructed after November 2018. The couple's unit is in a newer building and they were shocked when they were told their rent will go from $2,000 to $2,500 per month, a 25% increase. I think we were expecting a 5% or 10% increase, but a 25% increase is quite jarring, said McLeod. To encourage more rental housing and developments in the province, the Ontario government changed rent control guidelines so that new buildings would not have to adhere to rent controls. The owners of these newer rental units couldn't raise rent last year due to the pandemic, but now they can. Rents have jumped dramatically and this has led to 25% increases in a lot of places, said Mark Wielder, a real estate expert and lawyer with Real Estate Lawyers Car LLP. Wielder said the new rules were to encourage development and, according to Ontario's Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing, new buildings and new basement apartments occupied for the first time for residential purposes after November 15, 2018 are exempt from rent control. Wielder said anyone moving into a new building should ask when it was built and may want to add a clause to their lease. If you do rent in a brand new building, have them put a clause in that the most the landlord can raise your rent is 2 or 3% per year to protect yourself from these large increases, Wielder said. Myhill and McLeod said they will move out of their unit rather than pay a 25% increase. If we would have known they could raise the rent this much, we would have definitely considered an older building, Myhill said, even in newer buildings. Wielder explained that the new rent control rules cannot be abused and should still be in line with current market values. In rent-controlled buildings, rents can only go up more than 1.2% if the landlord gets approval from the Landlord and Tenant Board. Renting a place to live in Toronto is unequivocally cheaper than buying a home in Canada's biggest city. This holds true right now, at this moment, regardless of which option makes more sense financially in the long run. With the average price of a detached house now sitting at $1,710,304, most first-time buyers can't rustle up enough cash for a down payment, let alone for a down payment plus monthly mortgage costs, utilities and taxes. And so we rent, because that's the only option left without leaving Toronto entirely. For young people who don't already own property, but while renting may be the more affordable option, it's nowhere near actually affordable for a great deal of the population. Not anymore. To wit, a new analysis from the Globe and Mail shows that you'll now need a 6-figure income to rent a 2-bedroom apartment in the 6 Ikes, with the average home price in Canada hitting a record $748,450 in January. Canadians in many parts of the country may find the math of buying versus renting makes for a compelling argument in favor of renting, reads the Globe piece. But another part of the renting equation is likely stumping a growing share of tenants. The comparison between market rents and their own incomes, using rent price data from Rentals Car, as well as various provincial utility services, only hydro and heating. The newspaper calculated exactly how much someone would need to pull in per year to afford both a 1-bedroom and a 2-bedroom unit in 11 major Canadian cities. The results are broken down in 2 different ways. The first looks at how high an annual household income would have to be for someone to live affordably, as defined by the Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation, CMHC. In Canada, housing is considered affordable if it costs less than 30% of a household's before tax income, reads the CMHC's website. Many people think the term affordable housing refers only to rental housing that is subsidized by the government. In reality, it's a very broad term that can include housing provided by the private, public and non-profit sectors. By the Globe's calculations, a renter would need an annual before tax salary, or multiple combined salaries of $118,000 to afford a 2-bedroom apartment in Toronto, based on an average rental price of $2,715. This is just slightly above the average before tax household income of $109,480 as of 2018. In Toronto, for a one-bedroom rental, the household income required would be around $90,000, though again, it's important to note that this figure would allow someone to spend no more than 30% of their total income on housing. People can rent an average $2,013 one-bedroom condo in Toronto while making less than $90,000. They just also might have to skimp on food, clothing, savings, entertainment, travel and other basic expenses to survive. The analysis also includes required incomes when broken down by another general rule that suggests renters should ensure their fixed costs, including but not limited to rent and utilities, are no more than 55% of their after-tax income. By this metric, one would need to make about $64,000 per year to afford a one-bedroom rental, or $86,000 for two bedrooms, plus utilities, tenant insurance, cell phone, broadband internet and a $10 per month streaming service. Regardless of how you break it down, it's not cheap to live in Toronto as a renter, and the cost continues to rise as the rental market recovers from a severe early pandemic price dip. The good news is that roommates exist, should you need more than one income to meet the requisite number for affordable housing. You could also move to Regina, Saskatchewan, where a two-bedroom renter need only make $55,000 to Toronto's $118,000. Semi with rental option in Toronto's Junction gets 3 quick bids. 11 Bodwin Ave, Toronto asking price, $1,188,000 November, 2021. Selling price, $1,430,000 November, 2021. Previous selling price, $951,000, January, 2018. $270,000, February, 2006. Taxes, $4,124, 2021. Days on the market, 4 listing agents, Murray Mansur and Mary Jo Vadis. Rare real estate with single-family homes in short supply in the Junction late last year and demand high. The owners of this semi-detached house had nearly 100 buyers tour the space within a few days of hitting the market. Because of the pandemic and a few other variables, like the fear of interest rates going up after being at an all-time low, it forced people to start looking, said agent Murray Mansur. Ms. Mansur said she and the sellers first spoke of listing the house a year ago, but the sellers' difficulties securing a new home delayed the process. In the end, the lag increased their expectations for the sale price. When we started a year back, I told my sellers their property was worth about $1.25 million, said Ms. Mansur, and within the year, I told them I thought it would go over $1.4 million. That estimate proved correct, as the best of 3 bids clinched a deal for $1.43 million. We knew we'd get multiple offers because in that price point, there wasn't much available and it was a super cute house, she said. It had everything, except parking, but the location was amazing. This house is over 100 years old but now has 1,177 square feet of updated living space. In addition, there's a newly renovated, lower-level 1-bedroom apartment. Entertaining and dining areas are separated on the main floor, and an office is tucked off one of 3 bedrooms upstairs. The eat-in kitchen has porcelain tile floors and stainless steel appliances, plus access to a south-facing patio and yard on the 16 by 100 foot lot. It has a really cute, new in-law suite with a kitchen and a walkout, so now, with homes getting so expensive, it's nice to have that rental option, said Ms. Murray. Also, families are moving together, so if the kids are home and parents are working from home, maybe the grandparents need to move in. Your house is your most valuable asset. We have a weekly real estate newsletter to help you stay on top of news on the housing market, mortgages, the latest closings and more. Sign up today.